Hiya, I'm Georgia Goddard. I'm just going to be doing some tutorials, maybe every 2-3 weeks, just to explain techniques, processes, answer questions, that kind of thing. So I was asked recently how I did my backgrounds, and I thought it would be a good idea first just to explain brushes really. I rely on those quite heavily when I paint backgrounds. So to start us off, I'm just going to explain how I made one of my favourite brushes, which is one of the brushes I use for hair. As you can see, it makes it a lot easier when blocking in large areas of hair or large areas of texture really. It's pretty good for fabric because it's pretty versatile really. So in order to make a brush like this, you just need to get a hard round brush of about 14, 16. The opacity needs to be pretty low, and you just need to make a few dots here and there and make some opaque ones in the middle, and then you want some smaller, less opaque ones just here and there, just to add some texture and some interest to the brush. Okay, so that should be enough. And then you just need to go into the edit menu and find brush preset. Just name it whatever you want to name it, key mash, whatever. And then it's as easy as that really. So we'll just go to our big one here. I mean, as it is, it could be useful for grating, for metal, that kind of thing. But in order to use it for hair, you should go and fiddle around with the settings. Just move the spacing down to 1%, take the shape dynamics down to a minimum diameter of 0%, and then it's as easy as that really. Obviously, like I said, it is quite a versatile brush. It can be used for fabrics. You can have a mess around with the scattering, make it, make a really dirty grating, metal, anything like that. Just have a good fiddle around with it, have a good play around. I mean, I could spend hours just messing around with the presets, messing around with custom brushes, and then just finding something you can't remember painting without. So that's the hairbrush. But you can scribble around, just make whatever marks you want to make, and it could end up awesome. So I'll just go. Maybe I'll have another scribble around. Yeah, so just scribble like that, maybe a few dots, and then edit, define brush preset, key mash. So that's another quite cool texture there. We'll make it a bit bigger. So it could be used for branches, thorns, spiky stuff. You can have a fiddle around with the angle maybe. Take that to 20. Take the roundness to 60. Turn the shape dynamics off. And just mess around. Let's have a look at angle jitter maybe. So yeah, just have a fiddle around with it, see what you can make. I mean, you can use this for anything. You can use paintings that you've already made before. So if I go into something I made before, I decided that these mushrooms might be quite nice as a brush. So I was going to copy that, paste it into this canvas here. Like that. Obviously it is a grayscale canvas because you can't have colour in your brushes. I would suggest keeping the images quite low detail as well, because obviously the more detail and the bigger they are, the harder it is for your computer to process it when you try to paint with it. So I'm just going to make the contrast a bit higher. You'll see why in a minute. Make it a bit darker maybe. I'm going to invert it as well, and then you just need to posterize it. like that. You only want a couple of levels, you don't need a whole lot of levels, maybe 3 max. Come on, there we go. Yeah, 3 max. And then edit, brush preset, mushrooms. And we'll see what that looks like now. Select the brush you just made. Turn that off, there we go. Yeah, so you can see, obviously if you just dot it around you can tell it's mushrooms, but if you really start to paint with it, it just gives a really interesting texture really. If you change the opacity, so it could be rocks, could be coral, anything like that, it's just up to you just to have a fiddle with it. And then obviously there's all the settings to fiddle around with as well. Add scattering. So if we turn the spacing down and just go a bit mad with it really. So like I said, you can do it for drawings, paintings, you can do it with photos as well. If you have any photos that have really interesting textures that you think might be good to use. You can also scan in bits of paper, scan in leaves, anything like that, and just spend, you know, a few hours just having a go, messing around, finding some really awesome brushes. So I'm just going to use a photo. Use this flowers here. So I think this part of the lily here might be quite interesting. So I'm just going to select that, pop it in there, make it a bit bigger, and then just go adjustments, posterize, maybe, yeah, 3 levels. Edit, brush preset, flowers, and then go to town. So that's a bit of a fluffier there, one there for flowers, bushes, anything really. So that should be it really. I hope I've explained myself well enough for you guys to understand. But if you do have any questions, please do let me know in the comments, send me a message. If I don't answer it there, I might just pop it into another tutorial for you guys later on. Okay, so thanks for watching, and see you next time. Bye!